Podcast.
Fabulous. So, hi, hello, and welcome to Emma's podcast. So, okay, I'm so
Aloha.
happy. Somebody's.
Yeah.
Can you say that again?
What is that?
Aloha.
Aloha. Yes,
Okay.
aloha to everyone and to you. Um, I think we need more aloha in the world every day. So it's
Yes,
hard to remember it sometimes.
and you can see I'm smiling from
Oh,
here to
yes.
ears. One
Yes.
reason is because I have not spoken to my beautiful Kamahana for like several months.
Ah.
I know. And we
Yeah.
we reconnected because the funniest part between the two of us is like we're talking, but like a day or two apart, sending messages, and it's like, okay, we're receiving it way late. And
Yeah.
finally, the universe decided to say, okay, it's time for both of them to come back together. And within a few days, we reconnected. Finally, we're able to connect live between the
Yes.
two of us and said, okay, time to do another podcast. And I am so blessed to have you on my podcast. I wanted to
Thank you.
talk. You're welcome. So I wanted to talk more about what is happening with Red Hill, because that is a huge thing. And I wanted to know where we are with that, if anywhere. I hope we are somewhere.
We are. They've when I say they, I mean the military has set out a plan to defuel the gas tanks at Red Hill. And it's gonna take until 2024 or 2025, which is kind of a ridiculous timeline because you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
just get the gas out, and the gas is 100 feet above the water table still yet. So every day
Yeah.
that's went on, no matter how much progress we've made with the military, essentially the gas is still above the water table, and they're still having leaks all the time. Like they leak firefighter fluid,
Yeah.
which have PFAS in them, those forever chemicals that minute amounts make you really sick. And you can't get it out of the water. That's the same kind of chemicals that are in jet fuel, which has a leak in the hundreds of thousands of gallons. And but we should concentrate on the progress that we're making, which is they've committed to take the gas out, and they've committed to shutting down the site. But they're still trying to weasel their way and try to maybe convert it into something else. So some suggestions have been to hold water in the tanks, which is crazy to me
Really?
because there's forever chemicals in them.
Yes. Those tanks have been there forever. So why do you want to put water in something that is already leaking?
Yeah,
And
to store
yes,
water.
it's like
Not a good
putting more
idea.
poison.
Yeah,
It's like you're diluting the poison with water. I'm like, I'm sorry, that doesn't no.
fix the problem at all. And like they've been purging the U.S. military's houses that were contaminated, but like when they're purging the water, they say they're putting it through this filtering system, but nothing can filter the PFAS all the way out. That's not scientifically possible. And so then they bleed all that water right into the stream next to the house.
What?
Yeah. So
what is wrong with those people?
Well, they're saying they're filtering it, but we know they cannot filter PFAS out. So what are we doing?
I know. I'm horrified.
Yeah, it's
they
horrifying.
will do this. It is horrifying. But I thought you guys were looking for companies that could help with this issue.
We are, and the military is looking towards those suggestions. So we're glad for that, because people have suggested it in our testimonies, that they get somebody here to test it every day, and that they look for alternative means of clean water sources, like whether we can desalinize salt water so we can have more fresh water, or we don't have a system like that set up yet.
I sent you a bunch of information on that in that regards. In Saudi Arabia right now has 6 desalination plant in their water over there, in their salt water. So,
Yeah.
and they're doing pretty good. Yeah. And they're pumping a lot of water actually. And they're doing pretty good with that. So I know if they do the desalination over there, it will ruin the view. So I don't know if a lot of people are going to enjoy that or not, because it's not very pretty when it's in the ocean, but it will save your life, guys. What I don't understand, but that's the military. So that's a different system on its own, that they would not allow civilian companies to, what do you call it?
Start that kind of business,
Yeah, because
desalinization.
you would think that they want a solution and not sit on it.
Yeah, I hear it's expensive, but I don't know why we don't have it yet either way, because I mean, it's expensive, but we need water more than we need anything else.
But water is life
Hello.
yeah, water is life. So there is no excuses to do not have pure water for you guys. Is anybody monitoring the water, the underground water, to see where the pollution is so far? Or
The Board of Water Supply is supposed to be monitoring certain
Okay.
wells in that area.
yeah,
I wish you would test all the wells, because
they
all of
should.
our water leads back to the same source, no
Yeah.
matter what they try to call it. They try to pretend like these
It's
watersheds are
separate one
separate
when it's a big one.
units.
Yes, it's a
Yeah,
big one.
it's like, no, this is just
Or
all
they
the
put an
chambers.
invisible they put an invisible border in between and say,
Yes.
no, it stop right here. It doesn't go further. I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
That's what they're trying to tell us, and they don't want to take responsibility or for the possibility that it's contaminated our waters too. So they don't test our waters. They're testing the waters that are in the immediate vicinity, which is
So
on purpose. You know,
okay. So sorry, I have to ask the question. So can it be an independent company that can do that and the state can pay for it?
that's a good question, and I don't know if the state can afford it. They should be talking about it. The problem is that there's no labs in Hawaii that can test that, and there's very few in the world that can test that for that PFAS, and so they don't have the technology to make it affordable. That's their excuse.
Well, that's an excuse, because I'm sorry, that I know you can get grants to do this, especially when you're talking about this, and the federal grants should be covering those. So I
And
don't
they're
see
making
why.
trillions of dollars off the tourist industry.
Yeah,
Where's that profit going? So,
exactly.
and the military had how much trillions given to them this year in allotment? It was like 700 trillion or something like that dollars. And if they're the ones, and they are contaminating the water, they should be the ones compensating everybody. And
I totally agree. But the problem with the military, they don't want to be responsible outside of their area if they ever do that. No, I'm curious to know, for those families that that were on the base, how are they doing? Do we know?
Yeah, well, I know some of them, they're still suffering from medical problems that they can't explain. Like even leukemia has shown up, which is they try to say is not caused by this
Oh, come on, people.
PFAS, but
Stop.
they don't know that it's not caused. You know what I mean? Like they're just saying there's no science behind their claims.
Well, yeah, because if you do that, you're liable for millions of dollars to retribution for people, because your cost is. It reminds me, what happened with Chernobyl. I was in Europe. We were all in Europe at that time. We had no idea that the nuclear plant went down. Yeah. And they had a meltdown because Russia at that time hid it. And it was a journalist after 10 days that was able to leak that information to the rest of the Europe, which we were all shocked. Wow. So while the radiation clouds were, going over there in Chernobyl, guess what? They all moved west. Wow. They all went across Europe and end up in the countries, including Germany, France, everywhere else. Wow. And at that time, you had radioactive rain that nobody had any understanding what was going on. From there, you had a lot of cancer happening, rise in cancer. You had birth defect that were on a rise all over Europe. And guess what? The government said, and it took them 20 years to admit it. They said, no, it's not coming from Chernobyl. It's just what it is. It took 20 years for every government of those countries to admit it. that
Yeah.
was the cause of the radioactive
Uh-huh.
rain that we had, and nobody was aware of.
And people are just we're just carrying on as usual because they have no
Exactly.
other
But when
warning.
this, yeah, and when you started to see more defect, more cancer on the rise, people were saying this is come from Chernobyl, but they were saying, oh no, the government was saying, no, no, it took them 20 years. How
Yeah, that's
sad is that?
terrible.
It is more than terrible. So I can see the same pattern going in
That's
Hawaii,
horrific.
which
Yeah.
is, yeah, and it's a small island. It's even worse. And this is your water supply. So that's why I wanted to know where we were with this, because
So I have
like,
bottled water, but like I
mhm,
don't like that we have to use the plastics. So I'm trying to switch.
exactly.
I'm trying to switch out of plastic. But
Yeah, but you
but
want something. Yeah, but the problem is what you cannot filter all of the crap coming out of the ground. You don't know what there is in there and how to filter it.
yeah, we need
You
to
know?
discover a way to test it cheaply,
Yeah,
regardless of the price, have a lab built in Hawaii that
exactly.
can do
And
this.
and that
Yeah,
should, because it's an island. So they should have a department. They should be able to test it. They should be able
yeah.
to do this kind of thing, especially when you
Especially since
know.
we
Okay, go ahead. Oh,
no, sorry.
no, it's okay.
No,
So,
that can,
oh,
especially that they know that contamination has occurred, is we should have a lab here, and they should pay for
absolutely.
it. I put that in my testimonies, and I try to encourage other people to put that in their testimonies too. Like they should afford and pay for a lab
Well,
and pay
especially,
for all
you
the
know, those,
costs.
yeah, because when you think about it, if those tanks were not there, you would be living safely, but that's not the case. And they need those tanks for the fuel, no matter what, for the planes. But
Yeah,
those guys should have pitched in for the university to have an area where you deal with, because this is not the first time this is happening for the leak. They
nope,
should have had an area specialized for that. It should.
yeah,
I don't understand why it doesn't, actually. It's like, why don't
because
you
of
have cheap?
well, okay, when they build this thing, it's supposed to be like a modern marvel, but it was a secret. Everything was secretive. They secretly built this, so that means they didn't get the permits. They didn't look for the best places. They didn't think about runoff. They didn't think about disposing of their waste. Where they're gonna do that? They just put it all right there. And they could because they did it secretly. So I mean, I don't know how they could keep something so secret that is so huge. Maybe on the island itself it wasn't a secret, but I didn't know about it, and nobody else knew
Well,
about it either.
they probably didn't want the entire population to know that, because it would have been a
Yeah,
riot, and they didn't want it. They quieted down. But
yeah,
what is sad is the consequences for everybody living on the island. It's like you're
yeah.
killing the humans, the animals, and the vegetation. You're killing everything, basically.
It's like, okay, so they acknowledge PFAS, the different departments of the government, they acknowledge PFAS, but then they go and set up certain amount that is okay to ingest, which really
Well, yeah, that's
none
yeah.
is
Well,
okay to
no,
ingest.
it's not. But they have to, to cover their rear end, they have to
Yeah.
come up with somebody with a statistic, because if you don't, again, you're liable.
Yeah.
What they're trying to do is remove themselves the liability, so you cannot
Excuse
sue
me.
them for any reason. They just, it's easier to deny.
And then, yeah, whatever number they choose, they're gonna choose that's gonna allow them to say that
Yeah,
this is water we can drink, when really,
yeah.
like scientifically and factually, it's not. Like there's no small amount that you could just get by
No,
ingesting of PFAS. The most minute amounts can make you sick forever.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, but maybe what we should do is bottle those waters, send them to DC, and say, well, now it's your new drink. Go ahead and tell me how you feel.
Yeah, yeah. When I was in Mauna Kea, contested hearing, and I was a plaintiff there, we were trying to stop the 30-meter telescope from being permitted, and I asked him if I could do that, if I could bring the water that had the feces in it that they want us to drink. Like there's a certain amount of
Yeah.
human feces that the government says we can drink. And anyways, I said, well, let's get that up there and let's have them drink it. And
Yes. And
and
let us know how
and
it
yeah,
goes.
will you drink
Mhm.
it? And they have a choice. They can say no, but
Yeah.
let's have it in the testimony.
Yes.
And they told
Be-
me no, I couldn't do that.
oh, why?
I
Because
know.
it was an
I
attack
don't-
on them. It was what?
if I was more legally educated, I'm sure that I could have. But oh, hello. I'm
I
sure I
can
could
hear
have
you.
fought that somehow, but I did like know how.
Okay.
Because I mean, come on, that's common sense, but they just throw the book at you, kind. So they get all of these other regulations that seem to put your request out of the legal context. But really, I could probably argue it, but I don't know how, because we're not lawyers. Yeah, they're supposed to. The contested cases, ironically, are supposed to be there to support the pro se, the people representing themselves that can afford lawyers.
Yes. Yes. We wish for.
And
So that it's very sad for me to hear that they're dragging their feet, but this is typical because it's a government at the end of the day. But I just hope in one way we can find a peace and a resolution for that. Are you still with me? So, by the way, guys, if we're cutting a little bit, it's because Kamahana is not here. Is in Hawaii, and I am not in Hawaii. I'm in Minnesota. So, just letting you know, we maybe cut a little bit once a while because of the communication. You're talking of a beautiful island. I love Hawaii, and I'm so excited today. You have no idea, guys, to be with Kamahana and continue the conversation. So we might be. Let me know when you're back, Kamahana. So, but it's gonna be a little bit spotty at the time to connect and talk with each other. Are you back? Yeah, I'm waiting for him so I can see him. He's not moving. So I'm hoping the communication is more stable. And we will be talking in a few minutes as well. Okay, you're back, or can you hear me? It seems like he's looking at his computer trying to figure it out. So as we are waiting for Kamahana to be able to talk back with us, I wanted to specify something else as well. We're going to be talking in a few minutes because he's a spiritual leaders as well over there.
there we go.
We are back. Awesome.
Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes, I can. I'm very good at covering the blanks, so we're good.
There. Okay, sorry, you may want to edit that out. I don't know what happened. I think my sound chip is overworked, but one day I'll get a new computer. This used to be state of the art when I bought it, but they make these things, the expiration date on it that they don't tell you about. So they have a planned termination date, and I guess this is illegal to do that.
Really?
Yeah, I mean to some extent because they do it, but like, and they don't tell you when the deadline is or whatever. But usually they phase you out with their operating system updates, right?
Lovely.
So that eventually your becomes obsolete, a pre-planned date of absolution, whatever the word is.
Yeah. So, but it's always nice. Do you have a date of expiration? Okay, today you do not exist. We're gonna get rid of you right now, but you're gonna figure it out how. We're gonna expire you for a minute. Oh my goodness.
It's the biggest scam.
Yeah, I know, but that works somehow over the rainbow. So
I know.
I know. So now we're going to change a little bit of topic because you're a spiritual leader, and
Yes.
I loved, because even talking to you right now, I love the energy. I can feel the beautiful energy, the pure energy of the island right now. Which trust me, my heart chakra is wide open. So I'm like,
I feel your positive
good.
energy too. You're glowing and you're warm right now.
Yes. A little earlier was a different story, but yes, now I'm more relaxed. It's like I'm bathing into the energy of the island. It's so powerful. It's beautiful. So you do beautiful, I don't want to call it pelerinage, but I don't know how you want to call it. When you go to the sacred place and you basically praying and
Yes. Like our
respect.
rituals, maybe our
Yes,
rituals.
yes, yes.
Yeah, our cultural traditions
Mm-hmm.
that we do and
Yeah.
maintain.
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, when I go to these places, I introduce people to them. So
Yes.
I would introduce you to them. That's been my kind of kuleana or job. Get kind of kuleana is kind of a job that you get that you don't even want to get and that you didn't plan to get, or but you got to do it
Yes.
because it falls upon you somehow. And it kind of
Yes.
falls upon me because I was a very a loud critic in the newspapers and everything, on TV. And I was a loud critic of both sides of the story, like the telescope especially, but also about how we were going about protesting and how we were not going about protesting. And I know people think like, oh, we should just all be happy that something's happening, but really that's not how life really is.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things that people are stepping on. Like I have personal burials up there that are from my family that are ours, and we know them. And we know they're there and they're buried there. A lot of people that are there because they feel like they have burials there, and they might, but like in the meantime they're doing all these rituals that really aren't traditional in the place. And they're
Oh,
and then their human footprint in the nature preserve too is a huge spiritual thing. And So we're having trouble making both line up perfectly, because I guess you can't, because you have to have something has to give. But we were trying to educate them to clean up their trash, to not bring trashy things up there, to not use styrofoam, and it's environmental things, but it's so important
yeah.
because it's the spirituality of Hawaiians is like many other indigenous people, I believe. It's like nature is the force of creation, right? And that's your God.
Yes. And you're more,
Yeah.
and indigenous are more in tune with actually earth, and
Yeah.
because they understand how it works. And a lot of, I was saying that actually yesterday. Interestingly enough, I was just saying that yesterday to somebody,
Wow.
talking about indigenous and how, you are connected with the earth. This
Yeah.
is how it works. So you have to respect the earth.
Yes, it makes so much sense to me because I'm indigenous, I guess. But like, I guess for some people, it's hard to understand that nature is the same as God. Like
Yes.
it does, it creates, it destroys, it bestows us with blessings, it gives us divinity and signs so that we know something is coming. It
Yeah.
nurtures us, so nature is
It,
everything. So it's hard for people to just accept that
I,
that God is everything.
I think I agree. I think in the society we're living, people take Mother Earth, take Earth as granted. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, you should not, because Earth will make you understand very quickly that if you don't respect it,
Oh yeah, nature will
then
always win.
yes.
And I mean, you guys are going through a lot of snowfall right now, and like,
We did not as much as the East Coast, because Buffalo got like hit big time. Like, thank God it's not us.
yeah, you
Sorry.
don't have tornadoes and stuff, yeah.
We did actually, here where I'm at, every about 20 years, you get one landing. So, and you did it a few years ago, so we're good. Covered
Okay.
for the next.
We
I'm
have
okay. Mhm.
similar. We have those ocean funnels that are sea tornadoes,
Yeah.
and if they get on the land,
Uh-huh.
then we're screwed.
Yes, I agree.
So we're always watching those, but they don't really touch land much, so we're lucky. But
Which,
sometimes they do, and they steal a couple people from the shore.
yeah, exactly. It's like you should
Yeah.
be up and not on the shore. You should be above and go
Yes.
higher ground. But yeah,
Yeah.
respecting mother, and it's beautiful that you're doing those sacred. But so I don't know and I don't want to be judgmental on this one, but I think I would have had a problem. You see, some people come in and don't even know if there's somebody buried there and doing some of their ritual that is
Yeah.
not
I had huge
accustomed.
problems.
I
I
do actually, but
Yeah, because I was trying to explain to them, like, these are not your burials, these are my burials.
But then,
Like,
do they realize that you need authorization from the spirits to go and do those? Or do they just go there thinking they can do it? Because ritual, if you do a ritual, you need to ask permission from the spirits if
well,
you
all the people
could.
that came, all of them, they felt like they were moved to come by the Mauna, and so they did have that kind of spiritual. They felt they had permission, but really, that's different kind of traditions that than I'm used to. That's why I had to show up there, because they're talking about perpetuating traditions, but really, everything you see. I mean, I can't say everything you've seen because I don't know what you've seen, but more than likely, everything that most people have seen about the Mauna is you're looking at traditions that were just made up, which is fine, but we have traditions that are traditions,
Okay, so I
and
have a
and
okay, so I
mhm,
have a problem with that. Okay.
mhm,
I know people like to create their own spin-off of everything because
yeah,
it's more hip, everyone's gonna show off,
yeah,
show up, blah, blah, blah. Now, when you're looking at tradition and you're talking the Hawaiian tradition, the true tradition of how to go there, how to present yourself, how to do the ceremonial, then I'm sorry, but the copycat or the version of the saucy pants version of it, to
yeah,
me, is like, it doesn't sit well with me because you feel a disrespect. And I
yeah.
don't think when they're
That's how I
doing
felt.
this, well, if you felt this way and you're a spiritual leader, that's mean then the spirits there are not liking it either because you
I
have to ask
know.
for one thing people need to understand wherever you do these kind of things, you have to ask permission before you do it. You don't show up and feel like, oh, today I do it. There is a way to ask first to have an answer given back to you. So for me, when you go there and you said, "Oh, I feel attracted," yes, you maybe feel the energies, but that
But there's
doesn't
more
mean
to it. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. You have to respect the land and you have to respect who are there in land, who are the spirits in the
Yeah,
land.
and so like I didn't know how to make everybody listen to me, so I didn't really bother. If they didn't want to listen, then I didn't care. Like, I would tell them anyway. Like, what the hell are you doing this here for?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
all your piss and shit, like, because they brought these bathrooms, which is great that they bought the bathrooms, but they could have situated it better so it wasn't in lines of sacred spaces that were there. And
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, whomever decide to do that is a ding dong because they should have asked you guys first before you
yeah,
put things
and
in
not
there.
just me. There's like
No,
just
but
like a bunch of people you can
yeah,
trust and ask,
yes,
and
exactly.
and
When I
like
said you, it's the people who knows best. That's mean you and the others, spiritual
yeah,
leaders, not show up and start to drop off things around, thinking, oh, it's okay to drop it off right there. Who cares?
yeah, and
Everything
you
is
can't.
sake.
And it was hard because I couldn't really walk around screaming and yelling at everybody.
No, you're in a
It's a
sacred
sacred
land.
space,
Yes,
and so
Kamahana, you cannot do that.
yes, I don't. But I'm saying this, like, it's hard.
No, I will be like you. I will be furious because I will be me because you can
I have to calm
feel.
down.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, but here's the deal. When you feel that they're offending the spirits, when they're offending uh, the deities, when you're offending people who are there and resting in peace, it's like it's a violation and you can feel it. You can feel it's
yeah.
not in harmony.
So I have to get creative ways to make them listen, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, which is like
Okay.
really obnoxious to me. Like, I gotta make it all fancy for you. Like, like
Exactly.
I just want to just take that back.
Exactly. But to me, it's kind of sad because if they wanted to go there, then they should have you or another spiritual leader who really knows what they're doing and
Well, I
really
think we have
learn
some
about it.
spiritual leaders that don't know what they're doing, that are learning as they go along. There's all of that, but like they're not really seeking out the knowledge either. So it's
And
hard
that's
to
the
say.
problem. For
Yeah, it's very.
me, don't
Mhm,
call yourself a spiritual leader if you don't understand your history, if you don't
mhm.
understand your ancestry, and if you don't know how to respect the earth. I'm sorry, but you can, those are very sacred, I would say, space where there is a way to do things. And
Yes,
there is a tradition that is there.
yes.
Now, you cannot use those shortcuts because I will say those spiritual leaders who are using shortcut or do their own thing, Ooh, when karma's coming back, I don't want to be you because you're
Yeah.
disrespecting
Yeah,
that
a lot of
land.
them refuse to take advice or knowledge from other people, like me, because I'm young. Yeah, well, they think I'm young. I'm 45, but
But you're young,
but
you don't even look like 45, honey.
but like it doesn't make a difference because like what I learned from the people I learned it from, they were like 85 or 100 years old, like my papa, and so like the knowledge is that much older. So what the knowledge in particular that I'm sharing, it's very simple. Our my practices on the Mauna, it's not elaborate. It's not show. It's a personal experience, and I ask people to bring certain kinds of offerings if they feel like it. Like you can bring a song, you can bring a poem, you can bring a prayer, you can bring stuff like that is biodegradable stuff, like or bring stones from the ocean to the mountain, and take some stones from the mountain to the ocean. That's a good exchange there that symbolizes a lot, because the bones in the ocean, that's what we call them, bones, the coral of the ocean. So they represent the bones
Yeah,
of our ancestors.
yeah.
When you bring it, you kind of bless the whole land area, because you're taking something from the bottom all the way to the top, and it encompasses the area with the
I love
blessing.
that. I think it's beautiful. And
Yeah,
I understand. For me, somebody who's a spiritual leader should not be somebody with an ego. And if people are not willing to listen, that to me, it's a bad sign because you're not a spiritual leader. You're just whatever you are,
yeah,
because
yeah.
that's not how it should be. So it's kind of sad in one way, but I'm glad you're keeping the tradition with other spiritual leaders and continue what it's supposed to be and not trying to make it something that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, they're very influenced because they don't know their traditions, or don't
Yeah.
have any, I should say.
Yeah.
Or I should just say they don't have traditions, because they get all mad at me how I talk about them. But
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 that's true. Or
I'm
they
not
want
trying
to
to.
use shortcut because they don't want to learn.
Yeah,
And the problem is there is a history that you have such a
yeah. And
rich
not to say I
history.
don't have my problems in my leadership, but the ones I'm talking about are the ones I see and I try to
Yeah.
address. And they don't take it well. They're very territorial. Modern day Hawaiians that have stood up on their own and blocked the road on their own, and we didn't really meet with everybody. We didn't. Not everybody's there for the same intent. In other words, some
Yeah.
people are there for
Yeah.
spiritual reasons. Some people are there to get arrested in front of the cameras. Some people are there for the right reasons, and there to protect the land, and know the law. Some people don't know the law, and so we're
Mm-hmm.
we're trying to. It took a whole lot of organizing that had to happen on its own. You couldn't really force it either. Like, people had to come to the conclusion that it would be better to organize than if you went and made a suggestion. That's how that it's just sensitive. Um,
Yeah.
People's interactions with each other, because there's people there that
Mm-hmm.
were there forever, that feel like they've been there forever, and so they should have a say because they've been blocking the road, and of course they do. They've been holding space for so long. Then there's people that have just shown up, and then there's attitudes, of people that pre-existing
Mm-hmm.
attitudes with each other in professional
Yeah.
business or something, or in the
Mm-hmm.
community. And so there's all those egos, and I had an ego too. My ego was just a pissed off ego.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know how to at the time to say it so everybody wants to listen, because people don't want to listen to you when you're calling them names. Apparently, even if you're right.
I know that. I know. I have done that a few times and I don't like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I've
it's,
been
even if
probably
you're
I've been
right.
probably called several times a few other names too, but that's okay. I'm like, I'm fine.
I think
But
those interactions need to happen for a reason. I think those confrontations need to happen for a reason. Like,
yes, absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. But I
yeah,
think that for you to try to continue to bring that awareness to those other spiritual leaders is a
uh-huh.
great thing because
Oh yeah,
we all have different styles, okay, but you don't have to reinvent the wheel to make yourself special. So people will follow you more than others. To me, it's like it doesn't work well.
I find when people learn it, they found out they wanted to know actually because they don't know what it is.
Yes.
There's fear it because
Yeah.
they don't know, and that's the whole point of being ignorant of something is that ignorance is fear, yeah, and so
Exactly.
we just
But
got to
it's
cure our ignorance, yeah.
exactly because the people who are doing that little pelerinage, that, going into those sacred space, need to understand why, what was there, and understand the tradition, the history. So when they go there, then they have a more open heart to bring in those offering with more
Well, they can
respect.
participate in it too if they
Yeah.
want,
Hmm.
because then they know what they're looking at in a cultural context, in Hawaiian context. We've
That's what
had
we will do.
problems. We've had problems
Mhm.
with people coming find Hawaii on social media, like and then showing themselves peeing at the volcano or peeing into the crater. And too bad there's not laws against that can prosecute people, but there really isn't. I mean, I'm sure there is some laws, but I don't know why they're not prosecuting them.
Hold on,
If they're
because I thought, okay, because in Maui, you could not even approach or you cannot step out onto the volcano because you would have been actually sued or prosecuted or arrested. So why would it not
yeah,
happen on that side? That doesn't make
yeah,
any sense. There's something wrong
yeah,
with that.
yeah, there
Because
is, but no, go ahead.
no, no, go ahead.
These problems have been solving themselves. Like people have been publicly branded and
Good,
called out on
good.
Instagram, and to the point where they have to come and apologize because
Yes.
there's people threatening them. But not
Well,
encourage
good.
that. But that's what happens when you do something
Well,
stupid like that.
I'm sorry to say that, good, because people need to be accountable. You cannot be disrespectful because you don't want somebody else to come in your house and pee in your house, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
I'm like, so
obvious.
what would you
It's
do?
a
What would you do
universal
that somewhere
thing.
else? Yes,
It's a
exactly. I'm like,
universal thing. If you
you
pee
will be
anywhere,
upset. So why would you do these kind of ridiculous things? I know. Which country? I don't remember which country it was. There was some ding dongs, I'm going to say ding dongs, who recorded themselves live and they got arrested and went to jail because basically they went into a secret area and basically what did they did? Exposed themselves or whatever they did to a secret space. I don't remember what it was, but they got arrested. They went to jail.
weird thing people do. I don't know.
To be on Instagram and be popular, yes, but
To
for
be
me it's
cool.
like, yes,
Yeah.
well, there is nothing cool of
No.
desecrating a sacred space. If you don't want to
No.
do it, just go away. Nobody asking you to go there.
Yeah, I don't know. So, like, some people just have bad intent. Like they
Yeah.
just don't like the idea, or they're not comfortable with sacred things, and so they attack it. And that's going to lead to bad karma, and that's just a bad attitude to have with anything, like not just sacred spaces, but anything at all. Like you don't want to learn about it. That means they fear to learn about it. So
That's the problem. It's like, you have to be respectful. And I know some days it's not that easy, but why would you do this somewhere else? Do you want this in your house? Do you want this happening to your house? No. So why would you go somewhere else and do this? To me, if you're not, a believer or religious or spiritual, don't go to those spaces. Go somewhere else. Nobody asking you to be there.
yeah,
So if you go to a very beautiful spiritual space, learn the history and learn from having, like, that's what we're going to do. Actually, people just saying, they give you a heads up. Emma is going to be going back to Hawaii.
yes, we're going to be
Yes, we know
visiting these
that
sacred
we are.
places,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll
And
be
that's,
showing them to you if we can.
if we can. If not, that's okay, because we can talk about it afterwards, which I
Yes.
think will be very powerful. But for me, it's going there and being humbled enough to go in that journey to visit those spaces and pay my respects. That's all. It's just paying respects and appreciating all of that.
I learned on the Mauna, bringing people there during the protests to protest mostly, um,
I
that
love it.
you have to the connecting of spirituality with other parts of the world was important. Like they sent their
Yes.
prayers during synchronized prayer times, and we could feel the air shaking.
Yeah.
It was really intense. It might have been the satellites, but I don't know. It was I think it was the prayers that we could feel the power of the prayers, and we really thought we could feel that. And that's our whole experience up there. For a lot of people.
Yeah, no, but that to me, is I don't know. It's an experience. And if you're not ready to do those journey, don't go there, go
Yeah,
somewhere
people were brought
else.
to tears during our ceremonies because you have to come and you have to offer something, yeah, and then you have to say why you're there, and you have to really think about it at that point. Why am I here? Like, and if you haven't thought about it, a lot of people they start to tear up, but that's okay. Then they take their time to think about it, right?
Exactly.
And
Exactly. But, I don't know. I think there is a space and time for everybody to grow and mature. And I think spirituality is something that will come with the age. So the younger generation, some of them will never understand
not
until they
until they're
come.
ready.
Now
Yeah.
until they're ready. And generally, I'm going to say that, guys, discovery are not for people. When I was younger, I heard, oh, yeah, he or she's in the middle of a life, it's the middle life crisis, which is when you hit 40.
Yeah.
Actually, for me, well, I was already spiritual, but I think the growth came very, very stronger at the age of 39, when I got reminded for a year. Then the only thing I wanted, and I was repeating this every day, I just want peace and love. Peace
Yes.
and love. And I said it every day for 1 year. I just want peace and love. And the growth and the maturity continue to come. But I think a lot of people become more spiritual past their 40s than before. So for me, if
Yes.
you're not ready to go to those places and I went to Hawaii and I went to this and that just because I wanted my pictures and there, just
Yeah.
don't do it. Don't go there. Go to the beach, do whatever you want. Leave
Yeah.
those sacred space alone.
Yeah, because the truth is, in Hawaiian culture and tradition, going up to Mauna Kea was very a small amount and privileged people that could go, and you have
Yes.
to have a reason to go, like for
Yes.
example, to bury somebody, or to
Yep.
work at the adze quarry to chip the rock
Mm-hmm.
to make axes, or to catch the feathers off of the birds that they used to make the capes for the chiefs,
Yeah.
or if you're hunting.
Yep.
You have to have a reason, not just tourism was not a thing. We toured
Exactly.
our
And
islands, but tourism was not a thing.
and that to me is kind of bothering me because those are sacred space. And to
Yeah.
me, putting tourism and paying for it,
Yeah, it really bothers me too. They take 15 people passenger vans up with full of tourists that just want to see the summit of Mauna Kea. I mean, I can't blame them for wanting to see it, but yeah, everybody feels like they can. I mean, it's because they can, but really, I wish people would think twice about how much they visit the Mauna. Like a regular Hawaiian probably would never have been to the top of the Mauna ever in his life. And so that's something to think about, yeah, when we're in that space and when we're making a human footprint that is going to pollute the area just by our presence there, because there's all kinds of things we have to think about. Yeah. So it makes it hard to just protest, because you think you're just going to go out there and just do the protest, right? And tell them how you feel and say what you want to say and hold your signs and march and chant them down. But you got to stop and think about, Mauna Kea, like the human footprint, like how are we desecrating this land by being here, and how can we clean that up so that it's not happening? Take our trash, take our sewage out.
exactly.
Yeah, camp in
Exactly.
certain areas.
Yes.
Don't.
And
Yeah,
yeah, and that's why. So for me, it's like, really, if you do this, I would rather talk to a spiritual leader and say, okay, let's go with a spiritual leader than go with a boss of tourism who just talk to you and you stand there. It's like, okay, that's nice. Well, okay, we're done.
yeah,
Okay, I've been there, done there. Oops, got a picture. I'm done. I want to learn about it because that was with the little one, with my sister when we were over 2 decades ago in Maui. We took the time to learn more of the stuff. We were curious about everything and learn more about the island. Then we'd never actually lay down on the beach.
good. You're gonna get cancer, and only on the beach.
No, we didn't lay down on the beach, but it was very interesting to learn about a lot of things that was there. So for me, the learning in the history is important because there is so much difference. There is so much beauty. There is so much rich history actually about Hawaii that is worth to know.
Yes, we have
Mm-hmm.
a unique history, and
Yes.
Well, we believe that our people come from Hawaii, and we're always here. But we also believe that people have traveled over from the seas and mixed races with us, right? And so there's a lot of interconnection that people don't know about between South America and Hawaii, between the even Egypt and the pyramids and of South
Yeah,
America and the Egyptian pyramids and Mauna Kea. Like one
it's
cool
all
example
connected. It's
is
all
that they're on the
connected.
same
Yes.
meridian. Is it the word meridian?
Meridian.
Like a meridian,
Yes.
the degree, a certain
Yeah.
degree of a horizontal line on the
Yes.
globe, and
Yeah.
I'll go find out. It was like 19.5 degrees or something like that. But I'll look it up next time to make sure. But it's lined up directly with the pyramids of Egypt and the pyramids of South America, and like that's important. Like that's the kind of spiritual connection I'm talking about that we
Yeah.
don't know much about, but there's something there, and I think
Yes.
the more we connect with it, the more we can feel it and it becomes apparent in our lives. Like some people on the mountain were possessed by spirits that said that they were very old spirits that were there from the time of creation, and we had experiences like that.
Mhm.
Like, and it seemed like a crazy horror movie,
It's
but
not.
but
It's
it's
not.
not.
It's not
It's not.
actually. It's no. And you're right when you talk about Hawaii and you talk about the pyramids. It's all and even in South America, it's all connected. They're all connected.
Yeah, and Hawaii is so remote. It's one of the most remote places in the earth. We're about 3,000 miles away from the next landfall, right? Besides the islands, our archipelago.
Yeah,
um and like it's got to be a spiritual experience to come out of
it
the
is.
ocean for 3,000 miles on a small boat with 40 people probably at the most, and you guys have to bring your own food for the whole journey, and you don't even know
Hmm.
where you're going,
Yeah.
and to first discover Hawaii must have been the hugest spiritual experience ever, because they
Yes.
were on the verge of dying, right? Because how much food can you carry on a small little boat like the ones that they had to travel on to get here?
Hmm.
Those are the first people of these islands, right? And that's when people say like, oh, everybody's from somewhere and da, 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 da. But they're trying to invalidate the indigenous people's rights there, and indigenous people are first peoples,
Yes.
and that's all it is. It's not a racist
No, that's the
allotment.
reality. No, no, no,
It's
no.
not a
That's the
handout.
reality. That's no, no.
It's you probably, the society probably owes them more than you think, than people think they're getting for free,
Absolutely.
and it's
Yes,
not for
absolutely.
free. It's a lot of people died for it too, and so
Hmm.
we think about those things, yeah, and that's what helped bring Hawaii and Hawaiians out of the uneducated, a few bunch of people that didn't do much to take care of themselves and didn't educate themselves in English like how they want us to think we were. But um but today a lot of Hawaiians are college graduates, and actually even in the past, in the 1800s, we were the most literate people in the world with 99.9% literacy rate. And so like all this, the Mauna is an evolution of that, because how we engage with the media, how we were taking pictures and using them and planning arrests, planning some of the sensationalism really helped the movement,
Good.
you know. And like so, and I get sick of the sensationalism too, like, oh, there's people up there just to take pictures, but every picture that was up there helped
Yes.
helped get the message across out there. So in their somewhat ignorance of being there, at least they did that good thing, you know, like
Hmm.
shared the message and learned the message. And I think it's just there's this congregational new age things they're trying to pass off as tradition up there. And
Yes.
then there's the stuff I do, which is not magic at all or hocus pocus. It's actually really simple. Where we acknowledged the three spaces there to encompass the whole Mauna. And then when we get to the top in the last space, um, you offer, besides what the prayers and the chants I offer, and the things you've brought to offer. Oops. 1 second, Kay.
What's going on?
Oh,
You okay?
yeah, I'm okay, but my uncle's calling. I gotta I gotta wrap it up.
Oh,
I gotta wrap it up.
okay, okay.
Let me answer it, okay? I'm so
Go
sorry.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead. That's all good. If you need to answer it, answer it. We are good. So right now, Kamahana is busy because he needs to answer his to his uncle. But this is the kind of conversation that I love to have with him because it's so deep, and it's the understanding of the island, and it's understanding of the culture, and it's understanding of the love and the connection the people of Hawaii have with the island, because the island is basically they are breathing, living the island.
Yeah, yeah, the island is living and breathing. We consider it that because the volcano's erupting, and it
Yes.
actually, like, geographically, the earth rises and settles every day in Hawaii a few inches.
Yep. Exactly. That's
Yeah,
what is beautiful and wonderful. So, no, that's what I love to talk to you because it brings more the knowledge. And
yeah,
to me, it's very deep. I said, you have no idea. I'm basking into the beautiful energy of Hawaii right now. You have no idea. I'm so happy.
yeah.
I'm like, I have to go and talk to Kamada more often. We're going to talk on every monthly
Well,
basis, but the
yeah.
energy is beautiful. You have a beautiful energy.
Oh, thank you.
And I love the fact that you're respecting the island and all of the indigenous, all of the people from Hawaii. That's what they want. They want their island. They want that to be respected by whomever comes and
Yeah.
put their footstep into the island and be respectful. It's not only the mecca of traveling. There is a lot of history. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, we just
Beautiful.
want our place to be sustainable and be able to regenerate the ability for us to live here in form of water and
Mm-hmm.
food and clean water and clean food and clean hunting grounds and clean fishing grounds. And a lot of tourists don't even have their mind in that area that would think about the environment because, well, it's not your fault. Ties that way, and so we're trying to change the way that we present ourselves so we can attract more educated tourists that want Hawaii to be renewable too. And I think
Well,
everybody does, but
everybody does, because if you don't have Hawaii to go somewhere, where do you go?
yeah, but to make it a thing is
Yeah.
what we're hoping. Like, like, yeah,
It,
let's
it
all
needs
do
to
this together.
it needs to shift a little bit. I think you're right. It needs to shift a little bit to show more the spiritual side of it, and really for people to rediscover Hawaii. Because I don't know,
Yeah.
I would love to know if they could ever do a survey out of all of those people coming into those resorts and hotel. How many really do go in adventures to know more about Hawaii? I would love to know who explore those.
I
Because
think the problem is that the hotels, they want the tourists to stay on their property all day and night and spend all their money there only, and so, like, they're not very helpful in that. We got to change their culture and their attitudes and make it a thing so that they would want to do. So we're working on that
yeah,
too.
that would be great, because that will change the way people see Hawaii and give opportunity for people to come and travel there. For me, I will see it that way. So I don't know.
Hawaii
It's
is so much more beautiful when you feel like you've contributed to making it beautiful, and
yes, and
and
learn more. I don't know. You feel more. I don't know how the experience when you learn more about a place, not only staying it is great, but just learn about the history in the place. You feel more connected and you want to come back for more. You want to come back to learn more. You want to come back to enjoy more what the life is there, and not that illusional. I'm going to be on that transat. I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to bake like a little piece of meat left, right. We're
uh,
happy. I got my little cocktail. No, it's really
yeah,
understand the culture.
there's more of an experience to be had, and I think if more people, especially those on the fence that we're trained to think like, oh, let's just do nothing and lay on the beach all day and drink cocktails and eat poo-poos and whatnot. Because they sell it to us in the news media and all the movies we watch about Hawaii, it's all the same. But like, if you um make the effort to get out in the community, maybe see what the nonprofits are doing, see what Hawaiian nonprofits are doing. Like, there's fish ponds to be seen, there's agriculture and farm lots that Hawaiians are managing themselves with our native staple kalo that you can
Yeah.
experience too. They'll take you into their hollow fields to pull weeds and and to partake of the fruit of
Nice.
harvesting. And
It's
it's life
fascinating.
changing experience for
Yeah.
some people, just working in the dirt for a little while. But I mean, I'm not making it sound good, but it turns out to be a really
Actually,
good, great experience.
actually working in a dirt is one of the best way to actually gain the energy from the earth and
From the
releasing
earth.
yours. So it's a beautiful place. I like to go planting. I like to put my hands in the dirt. I like to spend time with flowers and plants because it's so relaxing for me. And a
Seeking,
lot of people do that. Yeah.
yes, that's spirituality there, to be alone with nature. Um,
Yes.
um, if you're seeking your spirituality here, like, I think the best thing to do is to come with somebody like me and let us show you our sacred spaces and let it speak to you and empower you the way that it will, because I believe in connecting our different spiritual points across the world, and that's through us, the people, through
Mm-hmm.
people, connecting, like even synchronized prayer. um uh, we did that a lot on the Mauna, and you could cut the energy in the air with a knife because you could feel the prayers. It's hard to explain. It was vibrating.
I know.
um
I
um
understand that. Actually, I can feel it as you're speaking. I can feel it. I feel that
yeah,
energy because it's that powerful.
and
This
it's
is
not
like
just a Hawaii energy. Like,
no,
it was
it's the
universal.
world.
And I
Mm-hmm.
think we have forgotten our sacred spaces where we are. And
Yeah.
I want people to think about your sacred spaces where you are, because there must be
Yeah.
sacred space where you are.
Yeah.
Wherever human beings are, there's sacred space.
There is sacred space, but I feel like you stated, Hawaii, the pyramids and the one down in South America have, because of the height and where they're located strategically on Earth, are more a focal point as well. You know, those entry of energies, and those
Yes.
are the rods. For me, if you,
Yes.
even my hands, as
You're
I'm
right.
saying this, my hands are burning actually. So
Yes.
it's feel like the rods. Those are rods where the energy
Yes.
is so powerful. This is like, yeah,
It's like the equator and the solstice and the
yeah,
poles. They
yeah,
have special energy, like vibrational energy, that's on a spiritual level. But like, the people sending their prayers, the prayers really helped us to
yes,
give us energy, to
yeah,
give us strength in what we were
yeah,
doing, and to have courage when we were getting arrested and facing these guides with semi-automatic weapons. We don't know
yeah,
what they're going to do with them,
mm-hmm,
but they're there to threaten us, that's for sure.
yeah,
And so we had to have, the whole time we were there, we were in some kind of prayer,
yeah,
like either in a group prayer, or you were meditating yourself
mm-hmm,
while you're standing there and thinking hard about what you're doing and where you're doing it at, and what we're
mm-hmm,
seeing, and how the nature is responding to us being there,
yeah,
how things manifested, like certain types of fog and certain types of rain and
yeah,
certain types of environmental things
yeah,
starts to make themselves apparent, and to us that's
exactly.
spiritual. That's spiritual
Yes.
because they all represent something.
Yep. Exactly.
And yeah, so we'll do some of that, and I'll take you to the top of Mauna Kea if they don't block us off the road. I think it's open again. And even if they don't, we'll still get to go to the summit somewhat.
We'll figure it out. I know that the
Yeah.
universe, and Hawaii will let
And there's
us
no
go where we're
rush.
supposed to go. No.
Yeah, there's no rush because Mauna Loa is not erupting anymore. We had an exciting year with Hawaii, with the volcanoes erupting all over the
Yeah.
place, with our
I
surf
know. It seems
meet.
like, yeah, and that's what I responded to you. I said, we should be listening to the messages here because There is messages coming up,
Yeah, and look at
especially
all the
when they start
weather
to report. Yeah.
patterns in the States. It's all they all
Hmm.
mean something when you look at the big map and you see how it's so connected to the same weather
Oh,
system that is in Hawaii. It's like
yes.
where's there's a huge connection. There's got to be that science hasn't found yet that within our weather patterns that have to do
Hmm.
with the geography of where we're from
Yeah,
and
exactly.
how one side affects the other. Like they say,
Hmm.
the African dust that comes from the African desert
Yes,
flies
Sahara.
into the atmosphere
Yes, and go
and
over
it's falling
Europe.
down in the
Yeah.
Bahamas and Europe. Yeah.
Yep. It done it, and it's not the first time it's doing it actually,
Yeah,
because when I was
it's
over
a
there in
regular
Europe,
cycle.
yeah,
Yeah.
when I was in Europe, I remember our cars were full of sand. It's like, oh, that's lovely. We're not by the beach, but thank you. It's like, well, I got my
Yeah.
car washed. Well, you need to go back again and wash it again.
That's why we got to be careful about what we put in any environment because it's still our environment. It's still connected to all of us. This idea that we can treat it like a commodity is
It's not.
insane because it's not a commodity. It's an
Mm-mm.
essential it's
Yeah,
an essential necessity. Yeah, and
exactly.
that's not to commodify that, make it a product that people have to buy to enslave it into the system, for purchase is sacrilegious, at least to people that believe in nature and spirituality. Like you can't sell it, you can't buy it. You have some of it while you're here, but you can't take any of it with you when you go.
No. And a lot of people don't realize that. It's like, no, as much as you want, it's stay
Yeah,
behind.
yeah, you
But
get
that's
nothing.
no. So
And
now we're going to change a little bit and talk about music and things like that. So what's going on with music,
oh, I'm teaching
composition?
kids music in the school for after school program.
Oh, it's
So
cool. That's
teach them
cool.
about the
That's
music
awesome.
from the place they're at.
Yeah.
So in the Hawaiian language, so that they know
Yeah.
how to so they know how to regard these geographical places inside their own district,
Nice.
and how Hawaiians used to talk about it. And so, yeah, let me get it out.
I know. That's why, I wait at the end. I'm waiting, I wanted to talk to a lot of things before we go to music, because I'm like, if we go music, we're never going to stop. But I want to, because I love the music. I love the songs you wrote. I love the melodies. I love your singing. So I
Oh, my
just
English
waited.
songs.
I
Thank you.
know. I do love your music. I love the song. If people don't, then you should be listening to you, because you're on a clubhouse actually when you do your Hawaiian music as well. Am I right?
Yeah.
You're still doing
Yes.
it. Yes.
Yes. You can find it under Kamahana. I'm
Yes.
still there. Um,
Hmm. I
I,
know, because once in a while I poke in there and listen.
oh yeah. I use one of these programs called Bubble Up where you can save all your let me see, all your the things that you find interesting on the internet, or if you have a file, you
Hmm.
can categorize them and have them all in one place on Bubble Up. So that's what I've been using lately. And it holds videos, it holds
Nice.
PDFs, it holds websites,
I
so that
like that.
you don't have to dig them out from wherever you have them.
Hmm.
Oh, maybe I won't be able to access it today.
Okay.
One of those things. It says
So
error.
did you compose anything lately, or you compose
Um,
all the time?
yeah.
I know. Ah,
I don't
finally.
know.
Yeah, I saw the ukulele, by the way, guys. You will see when on the YouTube channel, you will see it, because the
Oh, can you see?
ukulele was standing in the back. So now I'm going to quiet down and let Kamahana just singing for us, because I can't wait. And I just love it. You just close your eyes and just enjoy it.
Oh, here's a song I wrote when I was in high school, which is a long time ago now.
Cool.
But you'll see why, because the topic is real
A girl?
trivial. Yeah, a girl, yes.
Oh, let me
Okay.
guess.
It's sad enough. Oh, my uncle is totally.
Uh-oh.
It's sad enough. I know you're leaving, but you're going without saying goodbye. I better stop. I think Uncle wants me. I can't answer the phone.
Do you want to answer the phone? And
I think I gotta go downstairs already because it's already dinner time.
oh,
Yeah. I'll play for you more next time. I know.
Oh, next time, Kamahana, we're gonna schedule something because
That's
I
just a
want the
little
music.
sample. That's just a
Oh,
little sample.
I want more music, Kamahana. Told your uncle that is not right. That is not
I will
right.
let him know.
Yeah, you have to let him know because we
I
need
can't
I know, but we and I'm not cutting anything at all, so people won't understand. I am a little good. I can't even be mad at your uncle for some unknown reason. I have the energy of Hawaii. I cannot even be mad.
He's been waiting a little while for me.
I know. So, but we're gonna schedule something else within the next couple of weeks with Kamahana because I want the music. I'm telling you guys, it's so beautiful. So we're gonna do a special podcast just
the music.
for the music.
Okay.
I want
Sounds
this,
good.
Kamahana. So
yes,
my friend. Well, when do you want to do it?
Next week when you have time.
Okay. Do you want the same time than we did now? Or do you want it earlier? Because we could do it.
I have to come at 12 o'clock time, the Hawaii 12 o'clock time. I just didn't make it today because
you know what? Do you want to do it next? And we're live, so people are going to say, "Oh, that's awesome." Do you want to do it? Let me see. Oh, let's see. Do you have time next Thursday?
Next Thursday?
Do you recall if you have time or not?
Let me just make sure I'm not doing anything else next Thursday. That's Groundhog Day. Sure. Okay. I don't have any groundhogs to celebrate.
So I love it. So I will send you the invite. I'm going to send you the invite for the song because I want a full hour with Kamahana in the song because that to me, and I'm going to put music. This is what we're going to do because guys, you would be in love. I love Kamahana's music. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I love Kamahana. I cannot help myself. So
yeah,
no matter what, it cannot do anything wrong with me and in my eyes. How about that? But thank you so much. And guys,
thank you so much.
It's going to be a treat because by the time you're listening to this, which would be we're Thursday, that's mean this coming up Monday, then you're gonna hear this podcast, and the following Monday you would have Kamahana's music. Can't wait.
Okay. Yes, I'll be ready for that.
Fabulous.
Sorry for the tease.
Okay. Emma's Universe Podcast.